everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 486. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
I am Mako-chan.
And I'm Ichigo Gami.
And how is everybody doing tonight?
Meh.
Go on, tell us how you really feel.
I am anime, but now I am meh.
Fair enough.
I'm tired.
Well, aren't we all?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I would say it's a pretty good consensus. I think we're all tired.
I mean, I had to admit I'm not really tired because I actually slept until 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't saying that we were all tired.
See,
yeah, that's
because
about the time I got home from work.
Okay.
Some of us don't actually have to get up until whenever they want to because they don't have work.
well, for the record, getting up at 2:30 in the afternoon threw my entire day off anyway. Because
Oh, poor you.
yes, poor me. Yes, poor Ranma. Yes. Because for
Excuse me while I drink my tea.
regular or
Hot?
spiked.
Is it hot, fresh, and ready to go? Is it
Actually,
salt tea?
It's actually Wawa green tea.
Oh, there you go.
As
Wawa
oppo-
tea-
as a-
Wawa stuff is good. I like their cappuccinos. I haven't been in for a while, but I like their cappuccinos.
As opposed to the Long Island variety.
I don't have all of the booze necessary to make the Long Island variety.
Are we having any audio issues? Let me see.
Oh, wait,
If
hold on.
we are having audio issues.
Hold on, I'm seeing. Hold on here.
Yeah, I don't think I can hear us through the browser.
We should be
Thank
good now.
you. I can hear it now. I can hear it now. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, Seattle-Beery. Yes, I don't know what I was doing today. We will find out on weekend day.
See, the reason why you probably didn't hear anything in the beginning is because between last Tuesday and this Tuesday, another Windows update. So whenever I get a
so
Windows,
it changed all your audio settings.
yeah,
again.
whenever I get a brand new OS update, it resets my audio settings across the board. And I've actually opened a ticket with Creative Labs about it because it resets the audio from 2.1 to 5.1, and I don't have 5.1 sound system anymore. And they said it's just an issue with the driver. It's nothing that can be done. So when that happens, I have to go into OBS and reset everything. So I need to put I used to have a little checkboard here of tasks that I need to do right before every show. So maybe I need to bring that back. Yeah. Yes, and Seattle-Beery says he loves the dark fantasy you have going on, Ichigo. I would say that dark gothic fantasy. I can see you holding a scythe or just a battle axe just right behind your shoulders as if it's no big thing, I can see that.
I've thought about doing some fun stuff with some of my D&D characters.
Yeah.
I had access to special effects makeup and stuff. I would love to be the gnarled potato of a man that my half-gnome soldier is right now, Jean Dijon. He's just a fabulous little mother fluffer. Military espionage, and he's just a badass. I would just love to be able to do a lot more of that kind of stuff, but for now, we settle for the gothic fantasticalness that is today. I even have ears on.
See, and this is why you would make an awesome Irma from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
I've fallen in and out of love with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I like it, but at the same time, I don't know. I've just kind of fallen out of love with a lot of harem-esque stuff, but that, it's not my cup of tea. But
No, I totally get that. It's Miss Kobayashi feels like it's sort of it's like a female version of Oh My Goddess in a way.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a female version of that.
Yeah. And I've heard some interesting things where shit gets really twisted in the manga that people weren't too fond about. So, you know. And then I think when people found out that the mangaka's female, it kind of went... Boom.
I feel like that's happening to a lot of series though that initially started out like ooh super cute and ready to go, and then like the manga very very differently from the actual story that was told in the anime. So when people went to actually read the manga,
Right.
it was definitely a change.
Yeah, see my thing is this. Readers complain that male mangakas are dirty and perverted. And then when they find out whatever manga is on those lines of pervertedness, it's a female that wrote it, and they're like, what? And I look at it this way, you mean to tell me a woman can't be just as perverted as a guy? I've been going to cons for 20 years. There are women I've hung out with that put me to shame.
I feel like people always think that, you know, like it's gender stereotyping basically. It's oh my gosh, guys are so gross. They think about boobies all the time, but I'm like, I think about boobies all the time. So like, I don't know what you're getting at, you know. So.
I mean, I dated somebody, you know. I dated someone who's bi, and we would sit there and talk about which girls we would be interested in, and sometimes she'd give me grief for saying somebody's name. I'm just like, what? You know, it goes both ways, you know.
Bob Coffee's trying to start some fires in the chat with, women are just as perverted as men are. They just hide it better, I think.
Yes!
I feel like it's not so much that they hide it better. It's just that when women show more of a, what we'll call it, like an ecchi side, it's more accepted because it's considered like cute and quirky. You're really into prawn, but like also, you're a girl.
But also, us guys, we're just kind of blatant about it. But the women, you have to admit, a lot of women are classy about bringing it up. It's like if a guy says it, just everyone's just like put their heads in like, oh Jesus. But when a woman brings it, you're just like, tell me more. You know?
No, I mean, like, for me, though, in college, like, I had a bunch of friends, both guys and gals, and non-binary pals, obviously. Mm-hmm. We didn't really have, like, that openness in our community at the time, but basically, we'd get together and we'd watch, like, really bad hentai or really bad porn, like, was it, like, Lord of the Thongs or something stupid like that, and we'd just, like, stay up watching this stuff just because it's funny, and then we'd have, like, breakfast the next morning.
Yeah!
Like, that was a big thing for us in college.
I was hosting hentai viewing parties for years.
Yep.
Basically anybody that wanted to come, they were able to come and hang out, and we ha. But basically we would watch, you know, hentai and roast it. And
that's
and I would try and find some of the
hentai.
Yeah, I mean, I would try and find some of the worst crap out there.
Yes.
And see how many people I could break from it.
I remember,
and that's funny, like, because I'm like Demi, but I'm mostly A. So like when it came to watching that stuff, I just thought it was hilarious. But that's just me. That's just like it really just depends on your experience with it and like how comfortable you are with your friends, especially the group of friends you're in, and how comfortable you are talking to each other.
Yep.
But I feel like both genders are perverted to a point. It just depends on like how comfortable they are with you, and also like what kind of context we're in. I've gone to clubs and stuff with friends and like hung out, but you know, in normal public days, I'm not gonna go, ooh, boobies, and like run across the room and chest bump somebody.
Okay,
like,
the only
in a convention space with my friends, sure, yeah, consent is key. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to do that in public in an open space where there are, like, a lot of normies.
Okay, the only time that is acceptable in open space around normies is when you're working in the IT department of any company, because let's be real, that's where you're going to find 95% of your nerds. You will.
I mean, I've seen some jockey kind of people that are into IT, but
No,
I
I'm
feel
just
like we're
saying
getting
getting
off
away
topic
with
here.
that.
We could go
Yeah,
over
We're
this. Like, we
definitely
need to
getting
have an
off
excerpt of
topic.
this for
I
like
do
a
not know
future
how the
episode.
hell we ended up starting this freaking show and talking about porn. Like, I'm just sitting here silently because, you know, you're saying,
Anybody?
you guys are saying like women hide it easier. I'm like, hi. I
Can
hide
can
things?
somebody
What?
get us Avenue Q, please? We can't play it on the
See,
show.
here's the
like
thing.
GTA, but
I can tell you this, like in regards to what everyone is, what Bob said about women hiding it better. Y'all don't know Mako-chan. She doesn't give a fuck.
I will say that there are certain things that I will not speak about. And I get very uncomfortable when other people speak about it. And that's mainly, I don't give a shit about other people's sex lives when you're going to go into detail about specific people that I know. That's just weird.
Yes.
But, you know, that other than that, I really don't care. Porn, hentai, you know, crap like that. I talk about it. It should not be a taboo subject.
And this is
So I don't treat it as a taboo subject.
exactly. And the funny thing is that, remember, we used to do it like for a while. We used to have the hentai show, and everything was curated by Mako-chan. So that should tell you something.
I miss doing
bring that
hentai
back.
shows.
Yes, we do. We really need to.
I miss doing hentai shows.
I think we really need to. So
Yeah, but unfortunately, that might have to be something off of Twitch
Mhm.
because, you know, of everything that would be spoken of and, you know, various
and-
things that might have to be shown. That would definitely have to be a special off of Twitch because Twitch is very anal retentive about certain things. So even if we were to go up to an adult rating on it, I think it would get us in trouble.
yeah, it kind of would. So
moving on.
yeah. So yeah. Let's get into our nerd weeks, okay? All right. Kicking things off with how was your week? How was your day, Ari?
Well, I'm glad to be back, that's for sure.
Woohoo!
But, just been busy with work mostly. And, got a new bathrobe, as you can see. It's actually a size bigger than the red one I've been wearing, but, it's made of much thinner material. It's not, like, big and fluffy, and, like, the other one has, like, loose red threads all over. I'm like, this is fine. I still look like the dude.
The Ari abides.
Far out, man. And not this past week, but the week before that, when I was, driving to work and it was snowing and there were salt on the roads and all that, I got a crack in my windshield.
Yeah, I remember you had
didn't-
mentioned that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it until Sunday evening when I was driving home. I just was driving and I looked over. It's just out of the corner of my eye where the inspection sticker is.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw the crack going over oh, when the hell did that happen? And it was probably rock, a stone or chunk of ice or rock salt or something like that. And within 24 hours the crack had doubled in length. I'm like,
Ooh,
oh, this is just wonderful.
that's
But I was able to go with it through my car insurance people and didn't have to pay anything except for some new windshield wipers because they were in dire need of replacing.
okay. That's good.
But yeah, the car's working out just fine. Looks much nicer and cleaner than before. And well, with the temperatures going up into the high 40s to low 50s tomorrow,
Right.
it's going to be more fun at work.
Temperatures are going up into the. Good Lord Almighty.
Yeah, remember when it was snowing and icy and we were having trouble getting around from place to place without worrying about ice capading all over the roads?
You
Mhm.
mean less than a week ago?
Good times.
Coming soon, anime ice capades.
Also, my birthday is this Friday.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations on leveling up.
Yeah, this is my last year in my 30s, and I haven't done shit with my life. Ugh.
I wouldn't worry too much. I'm already in that level 40 threshold, so it ain't nothing special here, brother.
I'm finding more gray hairs in my beard and my hair and my chest than I can pluck out.
Remember, for each one you pluck, 2 grow back in. Look, mine are there. I just don't care. If people ask, I'm just like, it's just the levels of stress I've endured over the years, so you know. Anywho, moving right along. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Not horrible.
That's good.
This past weekend, I actually participated in the Pokemon Go Kanto tour.
Nice.
So I got myself a shiny Ditto, and I'm on my way to getting a shiny Mew. And that's all I really care about for that. But it was very weird to actually, like, I haven't played through 12 hours of Pokemon Go in a very, very long time.
Mm.
So, I mean, that was fun, but exhausting.
No, I totally get that.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, like Ari, I actually went and purchased new windshield wiper blades today. And by the time I got out of the store, it was too dark for me to put them on. So I have to do that tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, other than that, nothing.
Ichigo, how was your week? How was your day?
Pretty good. Just started the weekend by finishing up some commissions, basically, and reopening commissions again, and then, like, working on stream a little bit.
That's
so
good.
today I did a sewing stream, and then followed that up with like an hour and a quarter of grinding some Scott Pilgrim to get up to a higher level. English, number 1. But, you know, it's one of those things. I was getting my level up so that I could get in the game, there's that Scott's video fees.
Yeah,
and it's
Scott's late
like
fees.
$500+.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna try and level up and do that, but then I totally just wasted my money getting a bionic arm and the Speedy Hedgehog, I think is what they call it.
Speedy the Porcupine.
Yeah, it's for Speedy the Porcupine power. So I've been doing that, and I like bum rushed through it. So I basically was just leveling up and doing that so that next time my friend and I play together, because we played this last Saturday too, that I'll be a little bit more powerful. We might not get our butts kicked as easily.
See, I totally get that, because I do the same thing as you. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to save up to get Scott's late fees, and I find Wallace's mystery stash. I'm just like, let me just build up my strength, because I'll go, that means once my strength is up, I can go through these levels like nobody else's business and just build up my money, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what we did today. The community joined me a little bit at like 5:30, and we started and we went until like level 5, and then it was by that time almost 7 o'clock, and I was like,
Cool.
I gotta go eat. I'm gonna go do that. And then now happened, so I had to like catch shower and put my face on. Haha, and I have arrived.
There you go.
So yeah, it's just a fun day.
All right. So my weekend day's been the same old, except that I would say this for a Geek Roundtable, but I got something different. But I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I'm not going to go into details, because if I do, we'll be discussing it the entire podcast, and this is not the time or place for it. I'm going to tell you this. When everything is said and done on this remake, there are going to be some pissed off Final Fantasy VII fans. I'm telling you that right now. They're going to be pissed off. But I will say, I've gotten attached to Aerith. I like how they redid her character in the game, so she's awesome in my book. But, you know. So that's done. I decided to check out this game called For Honor. I figured it was Ubisoft's answer to a Muso game. Yeah, 20 minutes in, I uninstalled it and put it back on my shelf. I'm just like, yeah, I'll be taking this to GameStop and be like, just give me my $2 credit. I don't care at this point. I don't care. I just want this game out my house. But I started on Sakura Wars, and I'm enjoying it. It's totally different from what I was expecting. I figured it'd be more of a typical RPG style, but you got your visual novel, choose your own adventure mode, and then real-time action adventure third-person view battles, which is cool. So I'm on that. I'm on chapter 2, but I really like how between chapters it does like the preview for the next chapter, like as if each chapter was an episode. So I got really giddy as fuck about that. So, and as Ranma 421 says, FF7 remake is great. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And Theo X75 says, still waiting for it to hit PC soon. Here's to hoping, because I know there are people who are waiting on the Xbox version. So
Yes, I am.
let's hope maybe we'll hear something next month about it. Because let's be real, every time Square Enix puts out a game on PlayStation 4 and a physical, they usually put it out on PC and Xbox with extra stuff as a digital release 9 times out of 10, which kind of
Well, PlayStation has a year of it being exclusive to them, and it came out in March.
Yep. No,
So
it came out April.
April. So
Yep.
I would not be surprised if next month we do hear something about a physical Xbox copy coming out in April.
Let's hope, because the last game that Square Enix did that with was World of Final Fantasy. After that, everything was like digital. Like all the Kingdom Hearts games are digital on Xbox. Everything it just went straight digital. And I find it kind of funny how, again, I know I brought this up once, I'll say it again. I find it funny how people were clowning on Xbox users who have never played a Kingdom Hearts game before because Kingdom Hearts 3 came out on it. And I'm sitting here going, y'all act like Xbox players never had a PlayStation 2. Sit your ass down. I mean, come on.
I went from PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360 just because the PlayStation, like, there was nothing really exclusive on PlayStation 3 that I had to have. I wasn't really excited about a PlayStation exclusive until Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts 3. But by that point, that, after that little exclusive time, they're just going to push it off to the other systems anyway.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that Square Enix actually puts out physical releases. That would be nice. That would be.
I think just to get a collector's edition out there, at least they will do, at least for the Xbox collector's edition.
I hope so.
I don't know that they'll do something for a physical copy for the computer, only because a lot of people are used to doing Steam and
it's supposed
and
to be
things like that. So I see it coming to Steam to play on the computer, not necessarily as a computer game itself. But I think we'll actually get a physical copy for the Xbox.
I'll check Square Enix's website later, but I just kind of find it funny that all the Kingdom Hearts games that are coming out, they're coming out at retail price on Steam, Epic Games Store, and all of that. I'm just laughing. I'm just like, wow, they've made so much money off the platform. They're re-releasing them on PC at retail price, and people will buy them.
Oh yeah, people will buy them.
All right, moving right along. Housekeeping. I don't think we have anything new. It's just the same old. So we're going to push it along to Geek Roundtable, where we talk a little bit more about our nerdy weeks, like more nerdy, cool stuff that we've done, or we share a couple of things and so forth. So, Ari, it's off to you, my friend.
Well, I picked up GTA 5 for the PS4 and Fire Emblem Heroes. Warriors. For the Switch. I haven't had time to play the latter lately, but something else I got a while ago. To nice piece of little tech. Boom! Tetris for Rockefeller. It's a entirely modular lamp made out of Tetris blocks.
Nice.
And
cool.
It's legit merchandise. All official, and I don't know how well it shows up, on the camera.
No, I can see it pretty well, yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, because these little suckers are kind of hard to get out of the little pegs. It's like a light bright, but if you can reuse the papers over and over again.
Gotcha.
Yes, here's a whole little bag of these little pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you can put it in however you want. I was gonna try and use the menu. I kind of make it look like I was just gonna line up for that perfect Tetris, but I figured while I'm gonna show it off here, I might as well just shamelessly self-promote while I'm here.
Shit. No, I'm looking on Square Enix's website to see about a physical release of Kingdom Hearts for PC. I did not realize that they put out Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch. And those are 3 Final Fantasy games I sat there and played like nobody else's business. So now I am going to have to buy this game. Who would have thought me, who kept saying, I'm not buying a Switch, I'm not buying a Switch, and then they release Link's Awakening, and I'm just like, God damn it, Nintendo, just take the credit card, just swipe. Just swipe and just ship it to me.
I said I wasn't going to buy a Switch, and then they stopped making Switches for anything other than Switch. They stopped making Pokemon for anything other than Switch. So I'm like, crap, I have to get a Switch.
And it's just like, this is just a digital release only. Fuck. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm going to buy it. And let's see how much blood money that they want. Oh, $20. I'm going to sit here and buy this game while we continue with our weekend day, with our geek round table. Mako-chan.
Of course you are. Yeah, so the object of my affection right now is my Waystation mug. Today should have been the 10th anniversary of the Waystation. So, sad trombone. Because of COVID, the bar did have to close.
Mm-hmm.
Andy was going to attempt to work with one of the nearby bars to have some sort of physical thing for the anniversary so that people could pick up steins and other types of merch. But obviously that did not work out, at least for February. We can only hope that, maybe in the coming months, they'll be able to do something to bring back, at least for a night, the Waystation. But yeah, these were given out. They did have certain hot beverages.
Hot toddies they would do.
Yeah, at the bar. So those were served in this mug, and then they did sell the mug. So when I was there, I did have to get one. But they sold steins and glasses and things like that. But I liked the mug, 1, because it's small, and 2, because I like the design on it. I like the speckles on it.
And
it's like a galaxy.
And while we were
How much did it run you?
I don't remember.
I think it was like $15, if that.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't any more than what you would pay to go to, someplace and get, a souvenir mug from them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite remember though, just because I would think it was like 2 or 3 years ago now.
And earlier, while we were all prepping, I went into my cabinet and I went out and grabbed my Waystation mug. So, and this is a white one. So I'm like, yeah, I need to get mine out. But as you can see, Mako's is better because hers has the larger font and logo on it. And I think when I went to get mine, I think they only had it in this color and style.
Yeah, I think to get this one, you have to actually purchase a drink. And then you are able to get this particular style, because these are the ones that they serve in.
Mm-hmm.
So just to go up there and get, a mug or a t-shirt or anything like that, it wasn't always the same as what they used to serve their beverages, but those are the ones that they actually sold you when you bought one.
Yeah. All right. Ichigo, what have you been working on for Geek Roundtable?
Well, in our streams, on my channel, we've been working on an 1890s Victorian waistcoat or vest and a split walking skirt, which is just going to be a lot of fun Victorian frolickiness once it's completed. But that's basically what we've been working on. We've also been working on like a giveaway project, which is like a little bunny plushie. So that's been our fun little collection of things we worked on. It's just been kind of a quiet week. Obviously, I don't end up getting into too much when it comes to geeky stuff. So most of the time, it's just working on projects. So we've been working on projects.
That's good.
Got to keep busy somehow, I guess.
Yeah, that the small little bounce of serotonin keep the depression away.
Makes sense. All right, so for me, from time to time, I like to do a little bit of tinkering with Daitenchi, my PC, just making sure, I will buy a couple extra things, like LEDs or cabling, make sure everything is all nice and set up in the back. So I actually decided to buy another SATA cable. This is one of those premium individually sleeved ones. That's the big thing now. If it ain't RGB on the desk, on the left hand side of the computer, it's when you open up the right hand side, all of your cables are nice and wired together. They look neat, and it's not the flat cables, it's special premium sleeve cabling and so forth. And I've kind of gotten into that, and so I will probably be doing that probably later this week when I get around to it. I'm not sure I talked about this on the show, but I have a friend in Japan. From time to time, will send me some cool nerd stuff. Like yesterday, I got a package from him, paper envelope, Bang Dream paper folders, and they're really cool. I will probably show them off next week, but I don't remember showing off this. An official Final Fantasy VII Remake shot glass. And I actually don't remember if I've ever popped it open or anything like that, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks neat.
Has the logo on there and everything, I can see myself at the bar at Seventh Heaven with this, having a drink, and then, how it goes. I figured I would break that out. Seeing how that I finished FF7 Remake a couple of nights ago, and I will say the ending was really nice. It opens up a lot of questions, and when you get towards the end of the game, that's when it's going to be off in its own little universe. I'll say this much. If you don't like how FF7 Remake is going to go out, you have Final Fantasy VII. It's sort of like how when Viz did the official dub of Sailor Moon, you have the official dub, and then you have the Deke Universe Sailor Moon. If you feel like that is you can have that, but it runs parallel to each other and all that good stuff. So Yeah,
when I was perfect. I'm sorry, I got kind of mixed up because I wanted to rag on Cousins and talent as usual.
Well, I mean, you had to do what you had to do to get it past the censors on TV, so
It's just such a low-hanging fruit to
But now
go after.
Now, look, it's been about 20 years. It's not so bad this time, Like I said, I have a feeling in 2022, Adult Swim will be showing Sailor Moon on a weekly basis. I do see that happening, and it most likely.
I would like to see that too.
Yeah. So, and when it gets to S, when shit hits the fan, it's going to be, well, there you go. So. All right. Next up, I'm bringing back Hot Take. And this is basically editorials or my thoughts, which I will share with the rest of the crew, on certain topics that are going on and so forth. Now, this came across my feed about a couple of days ago, and it's basically called The Dark Side of Cosplay. Basically, the stuff that no one really talks about, but some people do talk about it. Sort of like a forewarning of what to expect when things don't go good and so forth. I'm not going to go into a full breakdown of the article, but this is written by another cosplayer, so I'm just going to give a summary. It's basically her story of getting into cosplay, going to conventions, like starting out making cosplay from piecemeal parts to making your own cosplay, which is something most of us have done, and it's a real feel-good feel. And from there, you're seeing other people getting into cosplay, and it's like, and I saw this happen I didn't see this happened on Twitter. It was brought to my attention. You had a couple of influencers arguing over who stole whose cosplay, who stole whose Danny Phantom cosplay. And I'm reading this, and it's like, everybody's cosplay Danny Phantom, so what's the big fucking deal? Evidently, there are some influencers who are getting into cosplaying saying, this is my style, you can't do this. Like, there is this one cosplayer who claims the Sexy no Jutsu Naruto is her style, it's her brand. Nobody's allowed to cosplay SNJ Naruto. And it's like,
not enough alcohol.
No, where the fuck have you been for the last 15 years? Oh, wait, you weren't even a thought in your mother's eye. Never mind.
I presume you were talking about the girl who was acting like that, and not me. I'm like,
yeah.
Because the timing of that was just like, man.
And on top of that, everyone's kind of worried about the future of cosplay with what the Japanese government is doing. Something that we discussed on this podcast like 2-3 weeks ago. So
yeah, we covered that part pretty thoroughly because of the copyright law that may be enacted and how it's going to change, and licensure and all that other horrible fun stuff.
And how cosplay it's gotten to the point where people are gatekeeping cosplay because of your skin color, because you're too skinny, because you're too fat, because you're a female, because you're a guy. One of my friends, Mannonite Cosplay, he gets grief for his crossplays. I see nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of guys who crossplay because they like how more detailed a female cosplay is. I mean, if a dude is cosplaying somebody in a suit, unless you're Jez Roth, you're going to go out and just buy the suit and put everything else together and make it so. A female, like a women's pantsuit or dress or whatever, you're most likely going to get the pattern and make it, because let's be real, you're not going to find it in a store. Unless you're in Japan in a cosplay store, but that's a story for another time. And then
gatekeepers ruin everything.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think it's more so gatekeeping rather than the like genderification of cosplay.
Yes.
When it comes to I know we talked about it last time where like I brought up my article, basically my big blog post about like how the companies might go about like confirming who can cosplay their characters and who are not allowed to, verse on like the idea of publication authenticity, media authenticity, or something, like masking their slight racism or sexism or whatever as authenticity to their brand, and the fact that like there would be a lot of issues with that. And on top of the idea that influencers own a certain style of cosplay, when cosplay's been going on for a very, very long time.
I am waiting for that one influencer to do Ranma 1/2 cosplay and say that it belongs to them. Oh, I promise you, I will do more than knock them down a peg or 6. Oh, believe you me.
Oh,
the thing is,
Ranma say
you'd pop out of the nearest trash can.
No, I will make them scared.
Tell you why that's bullshit.
No, they will be scared of their own shadow by the time I'm done.
No, come on. I mean, this has been going on for years. There are, and have always been, in every aspect of cosplay or even just the fandom in general, people that believe that because they did it either first or because they believe that they've done it better, that nobody is able to cosplay as that character. There are builders that believe that they are the be-all, end-all of either Lego or models or anything like that. They're always going to be there. They've been there forever. It comes down to a simple fact that if you're no longer having fun with doing your hobby, then stop.
Yep.
But if you're making that decision based on the others around you and how they are destroying your hobby, then I mean, stop if you want to, but at the same time, maybe just start hanging out with other people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a friend who kind of, I found out, she is an amazing, talented cosplayer, and I met her, through a friend, we would always talk more about life instead of cosplaying, and I met her briefly at Fanime 2005, and we hung out again briefly at Otakon 2018, and she made a post a couple of weeks ago that she's retiring from the scene. She's done. And I can tell you, she's been dealing with a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have to, but when you're a cosplayer, you kind of have to deal with similar shit as if you were a celebrity. If you're a cosplayer, you're going to get accosted. You're going to get harassed. All this shit's going to happen. Do you deserve it? Absolutely not. Is it expected? The sad part is, yes. But you don't have to take it.
Yeah, as I wear like alternative fashion every day, I like when the normal realm occurred in our environment, I would regularly get accosted. I had old ladies that knew better flip up my skirt to see if I was wearing a petticoat. I've had people think that I didn't exist, think that I was not a real person. Like, they didn't even think I was a mannequin. They thought I was a part of their imagination, so they decided to touch me to find out, and they immediately got a no touchy. But at the same time, in this article, the girl is from the Philippines.
Yes.
And the Philippines anime and cosplaying community is very much similar to the Japanese style, where when you are a cosplayer, you are a celebrity in all intent and purpose.
Yep.
So when it comes to the way that their society is and culture is, their subculture of cosplay, it is very much more focused on, the article brings up the idea of celebrity and beauty. Societal beauty standards and things like that, especially because in a lot of Asian countries, like, to be beautiful, you have to lighten your skin, you have to be super skinny, you have to be all of these styles, as well as if you're falling within feminine societal normatives, you're subjugated and all this other horrible stuff that we have a little bit better situation of it over here. It's still not the best.
Yeah,
because we still have issues with it, but in the Philippines, it's considered like it's the desired thing. And so they bring it up in the article. If you guys look it over, I did post it in our chat here at twitch.tv/anime jam session, that basically, if you're pretty, the halo effect comes to you. And that is a very like standard thing across all society. If you are pretty and you fit within societal beauty standards, you're gonna get benefits that are afforded to you above other people that may have a similar skill set, maybe in a similar level of cosplay, but because you don't look the certain way that the company or the people do, you don't get as much recognition. Yeah, that is definitely true.
Yeah, and it's like, go to a con, go into the dealer's room. You're going to see a couple of cosplayers with a table, and you're going to notice they're going to have basically long lines. These are very famous cosplayers, and when you look at them, it kind of sets a standard of how a cosplayer should do their cosplays. Well, I will say this, that is their standard. That shouldn't be your standard. And seeing that should not discourage you from doing a cosplay this or that. You should still do it. I mean, I know it within the black cosplay community, there's a big thing about, cosplaying all the black characters and this and that. I don't give a fuck about that. The only black character I've cosplayed on a regular basis is Barrett Wallace from Final Fantasy VII. And when I first said I was doing it, everybody was saying, yo, he's going to be the first Barrett cosplayer. And I am. And I hold that to this day. Other than that, I've cosplayed Shinji, Tenchi, Ranma, Luigi. I mean, I guess Luigi's kind of black. Depends on, your Italian strengths. It is what it is.
It's that Sicilian heritage.
Yeah, I've cosplayed Artemis, Old Man Joseph. I mean, and I've gotten praise. I've gotten grief. And when it comes to the grief, I simply just don't care. I'm not going to be one of those that's going to go on social media and bitch about somebody giving me grief that I've cosplayed somebody. My response is, so I'm still going to do it. You can give me all the grief you want. You're not paying my bills, shit. And even if you were, I'm not going to give a fuck.
I cosplay for others. I cosplay for myself.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I don't care what other people think of me when I cosplay. If I'm not having fun, then there's no point, and I find dressing up and acting ridiculous to be amazing fun. So I do it for myself. And sometimes, I'll get asked here and there for a picture, and most of the time I don't. I have a very distinctive look that is not one that people associate with costumes and costuming and cosplay, and I don't care. I go out, I have fun with my friends, and that is what it started as, and that is what it should be.
Yeah.
People have taken cosplay and other aspects of fandom, and they've become too immersed in the popularity of it all,
Agreed.
in the praise of it all, in the money that they might possibly make by winning a competition.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the reason why you're going into it, great. But don't then shit on the people that want nothing to do with trying to get your crap. They just want to go out there and have fun. They are not going out there to try and steal your prize. They're not going out there to try and steal your fans. They're just going out there to have fun.
And also, don't be those people that are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to see another copy of my cosplay. Like, what? There are more than like one or two people that enjoy the character just as much, if not more than you do.
Yeah.
So when you gatekeep and you go, no one else can be Sailor Moon because I'm Sailor Moon.
Oh,
and
let's
it's like,
not.
You're
Oh,
ruining it for
yeah,
everybody.
I think we all remember that. But
I mean, that's not anything new. Not just because geek is like the next hot thing. Like, that's been going on for ages. But whenever I
Yeah.
saw a copy of my character, I happily was like, oh my gosh, twinsies! And like, you take photos together and you have a
And-
lot of
and
fun, and it's a ton of
also-
fun.
and also don't
Yeah,
like,
if you find
love each other's
characters in your
costumes.
fandom that your characters
Mhm.
have, history with them, like, hey!
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
a one
And
time
don't-
I
and-
dressed up
and-
as Dan
and
instead of
don't
a
forget-
cosplayer,
and-
like,
yeah,
legit, like 6.5 feet tall plus. It was like, looking
And-
up at him
you know
like
what, and-
that.
and
It
don't-
was funny as hell.
And don't forget this: if you see somebody else cosplaying the same character as you, their cosplay is gonna be slightly different. So that's even better. You can look at each other, kind of trade tips, and hey,
Exactly. And that's a big part of the cosplay community is like we didn't grow out of nothing. Well, I mean, we did kind of grow out of nothing. But like we grew out of the fact that there's a community that wanted to represent these characters and bring them to life for each other or for ourselves. So like when you take away that sense of community, that sense of camaraderie, and you just fill it out with capitalism,
yeah.
like there's such a toxic underbelly that begins to occur. But
Yeah.
I think we can rehash this over and over again, and I'm sure we will again in the future. But I know we're
Cut for time.
beating this topic pretty dead.
Long story short, cosplay is for everybody, but also understand when you cosplay, there's going to be a downside to it. Sometimes it's not all that bad. Sometimes it could be worse, but you know what? You got friends, you roll with the squad, and you're going to get through this, and it's all right. And if you decide after a while this isn't for you, cool. That's it, I still enjoy cosplay. When I wake up one day and say, doing this podcast isn't fun anymore and cosplaying isn't funny, 6 months from that point, I am wrapping it all up and that's it. I may still go to cons, but I might be more of an attendee than actually cosplaying and taking pictures and stuff. So, it happens. All right. So, moving right along, we're going to be talking about some award-winning stuff here. Ari, take it away with the Seiyu Awards.
Yeah, let me just move this out of the way here. The organizers of the 15th Annual Seiyu Awards announced winners of the Synergy Award, Kei Toyama Award, and Kazue Takahashi Award on Tuesday. The Synergy Award is an award for works that best show the talent of the voice actors. And the winner was Carrion 9 Teikoku Koe Kabuki Nobunaga no Inu, or His Majesty's Dog, a stage reading. The Kei Tomiyama Award is for the male seiyuu who's been active in every field, including acting. And the winner for that was Toshihiko Seki. Whose roles include Duo Maxwell from Gundam Wing, Moose from Ranma 1/2, and Raoul Crescent from Gundam Seed.
The funny thing is, I totally forgot that he voiced Duo and Moose, But we did talk about him like a few episodes back because he gotten over COVID-19.
And Kazuo Takahashi Awards, the same thing, but for females. And the winner was Yoshiko Sakakibara, who was Karan in Zeta Gundam, and Nagumo and Pat Labor, and Boss in Akudama Drive. The award ceremony, which will reveal the full list of attendees, will be held. These are. Wait. I'm sorry. I totally spaced out there.
No worries.
They're announcing who's going to get these, honors. Okay. I don't know where the hell I was. Yeah, it's going to be on March 6th at the Bunko Hoso Media Plus Hall. Starting in 2017, the Special Merit Award, which honors deceased voice actors and actresses who have contributed to many genres, was replaced with an honoring of all voice actors and actresses who passed away in the previous year. So, yeah, congratulations to the winners.
Yeah, and I believe Bob Coffey also mentioned that she also voiced Celia Stingray in Bubblegum Crisis.
Neat.
Yep. And I also want to touch on what Ichigo said. Desperate Housewives of Cosplay. Girl.
God, I hope not.
I would watch the fuck out of that, okay? I would watch that. I really would.
I know that there are a lot of people out there who love that series. I don't really like drama. I don't really like drama series for drama's sake, and I feel like they did Heroes of Cosplay a disservice. A lot of the cosplayers who were featured in it felt like they had been misrepresented. And
no, they weren't.
It was bad. And that's part of going back to the article we were talking about earlier, how like capitalism and like we must make money off the nerd before she's unpopular again. Like that's literally how it feels sometimes.
Heroes of Cosplay was supposed to be like an insight on what goes on, but it really wasn't. It kind of turned into the Yaya Han and Friends show, And I got friends that live down in the ATL, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Does Yaya Han actually consider those other people her friends, though?
Yes. But I tell you what, I could actually
professional cosplay realms are people that you would collaborate with. So inherently, yeah, they are considered her friends. But that's like, that's if I have somebody here on Twitch that I collaborate with, maybe we play a few video games together. Unless I call them my acquaintance, we're probably gonna say, hey, yeah, we're video game friends, or like con friends. You know how you have like con friends or con family, and you only hang out with them at conventions. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just pictured Yaya as being the kind of person who would charge a fee just for talking to her.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, she charges the con that fee, so she makes her money. But, you go on, girl. Not for nothing, I could probably sit here and write out a better reality show in my sleep. So, hey.
I feel like a lot of us in the community felt that way very, very much so while it was on air. Yeah. But, so yeah, next article, Ranma, do you want to talk about the 2021 Anime Award winners?
Yes, and this time there was less drama and fapping over these awards, because from the first couple of years they had the Anime Awards, people were totally pissed off because they thought it was rigged and this and that. And I think it was last year or year before last when it was all about My Hero Academia, people got mad and stuff like that. And when it comes to these awards, I really don't pay attention because I know for a fact that the titles that I like and enjoy will never get nominated. They will never win. So why am I getting upset about it? Let other people be happy, and I'll continue to sit here and watch my favorite shows. But looking at the winners, it's not so bad. I do know there has been some grief about Jujutsu Kaisen because it just showed up like four months ago. And it's sort of like, it was too soon too soon to the cutoff or something like that. It's sort of like with normal awards, like a cutoff date for award ceremonies like in November. The movie comes out in November. it has to wait till the following year, something like that. And it's only kind of fair. But I'm just going to read off like the winners and runner-ups, and, we'll just roll with it, So for this year's 2021 Anime Awards, for Best Character Design, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Runners-up was Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, Great Pretender, B&A, Tower of God, and Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. I don't know if Yashahime should have made the cutoff because it came in too soon, too late into the year, but that's just me. Best Animation is Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. Runners-up is Princess Connect Redive, Great Pretender, The God of High School, Appare Ranman, and Beastars. Best Fight Scene, Deku vs. Overhaul and My Hero Academia Season 4. Yeah, that was a hell of a fight. But I think the fight with Deku versus what's his name? Gentle Criminal. I think that was a slightly better fight, but that's just me. Runners-up was Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo Satoru vs. Realman Sukuna. The God of High School, Jinmori vs. Jagai Taek. SAO, War of the Underworld Part 2. Broccoli vs. Emperor Vector. God of High School, Jinmori vs. Handoe. Akumadama Drive, Brawler vs. Master. Best Couple, Naza Yuzaki and Tsukasa Yuzai from Tonikawa Over the Moon for You. That's one I've never heard of, but it's a Crunchyroll original, so I suppose. Your runners-up were Kayuga-sama Love is War Season 2 of Kaguya and Miyuki, Beastars Legoshi and Haru, Inspector Kotoko and Kuro, My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Katarina and Maria, and Rent a Girlfriend, Chizuru and Kazuya. I'm watching Rent a Girlfriend as we speak, and I'm like 4 episodes in, and I'm just like, why? But best performance by a voice actor, Japanese. Yusuke Kobayashi as Natsuki Subaru and ReZero Season 2. And oh my god, if this person didn't get that, I would light a fire. I mean, I need to go back and continue watching the dub, which is so good, but Jesus, I would say the only other person that gives so much emotion in a male character as well as Natsuki is the guy who does the voice Midoriya from My Hero Academia. Good lord. Runners-up was Ryu Sugiyama as Minari Koda from Wave Listen to Me, Megumi Ogata as Hanako from Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Yuichi Nakamura as Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, Mutsumi Tamura as Sayaka Kanamori from Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, and Yusuke Onoki as Daisuke Kanbei, The Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited. I don't know how that got a nomination, but that should not have been there. I've watched the series, and there really isn't much anything of memorable of acting in that series. Best performance by a voice actor in English. Zeno Robinson as Hawks and My Hero Academia Season 4. Runners-up is Crispin Freeman and Ziyu Sudara from Fate Grand Order, Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. Aaron Phillips as Laurent Thierry from Great Pretender. Johnny Young Bosch as Bam from Tower of God. Jonas Scott as Legoshi from Beastars. And Anaris Quinones as Echidna from ReZero, Starting Life in Another World Season 2. Honestly, that should have gone to... I can't remember his name. The guy who voices Natsuki Subaru in the dub of My Hero Academia. He should have won that. Best Girl. Winner is Kaguya Shinomiya from Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. Runners-up are Sayaka Kanamori from Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, Chizuru Mizuhara from Rent a Girlfriend, Noi from Doro Hedoro, Karane Claes from My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, and Abigail Jones from Great Pretender. Meanwhile, I don't see Rem from ReZero, okay? That was
Noi
rigged.
is best girl. Noi beats out Rem. Noi is thick and ready to kick ass.
Rem is best girl. She is the prime definition of a girl she is a ride or die chick. Straight up. She doesn't care that Natsuki's in love with What's her name? I can't,
Have you seen Doro Hey Doro?
No, I have not.
It is so good. If you haven't seen Doro Hey Doro, it is one of my new
Emilia.
favorite series. And Noi, awesome.
Yeah.
Realistic beauty standards, realistic body type can still kick your ass.
I mean, yeah. Natsuki's in love with Emilia, and Rem's like, I don't care, I still love you. I'm just, and she's very, what? Man, they don't make them like that anymore. Best boy is Shoyo Hinata from Haikyuu. Runners up, Kaiman from Dorohedoro. Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen. Kun Agero Agnes from Tower of God. Legoshi from Beastars. And Ano's Voldigo from Misfit Demon King Academy. Best director, Masaki Yuasa from Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken. Runners up, Yuzuru Tachikawa Decadence. Sungwoo Park Jujutsu Kaisen. Hiro Kaburagi Great Pretender. Mamoru Hatakeyama from Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2. And Takashi Sano, Tower of God. You know, there's a few more here. I'm just going to read off the winners at this point. All right. Best score, Kevin Penkin, Tower of God. Best opening sequence, Wild Side by Ali Beastars. Best ending sequence, Jujutsu Kaisen, Lost in Paradise, Ali featuring Aklo. Best fantasy, ReZero Season 2. Best comedy, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Fair enough. Best drama, Fruits Basket. One of the runner-ups is Japan Sinks 2020. And I'm sorry. Japan Sinks 2020 should have gotten best drama. And anybody who can sit here and tell me that's bull has no soul. They have no soul whatsoever. Best protagonist, Katarina Claes from My Next Life is a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. Best antagonist, Ryomen Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. Anime of the Year, Jujutsu Kaisen. The runners-up were Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken, Dorohedoro, Great Pretender, Appare Ranma, and Beastars. I can't complain about that. I haven't even watched any of these. I just know I keep hearing good things about Jujutsu Kaisen, probably because it's a more recent title as opposed to the other 5. So, and now that we've got that out of the way, let's move right along to an anime that was quite popular a few years ago. That's gotten a game for the Switch. And I've seen some people are complaining that it's not coming to the States, but take it away, Mako-chan.
Yeah, so it was revealed that Crayon Shin Chan is going to be getting a Switch game this summer. Nintendo revealed it during their Nintendo Direct, which, I mean, obviously Crayon Shin Chan is very popular in Japan. This wasn't one that I figured would actually make Nintendo Direct. But anyway, so it's going to be called Crayon Shin Chan, My Summer Vacation with the Professor, The Endless 7-Day Journey. So it will be releasing this summer. It will feature some similar features to the kind of games like Boku no Natsuyami, including doing everyday summer activities. The game features the Nobara family visiting Kumamoto and meeting an eccentric professor. And just given everything that Crayon Shin Chan is known for, I cannot wait to see what is going to be in store for this game. It looks like it's going to be very similar to, I guess, the anime itself. The art style is basically right from the anime. The character designs are right from the anime. They're going to have cutscenes in the game that play out as if it were an anime. And yes, it is not going to, at least right now, be coming to the States. Unfortunately, Crayon Shin Chan is not really as popular here as it had been, even though it did get, a translation and was on Toonami for a while.
Yeah, I remember someone like tweeting, why hasn't, this come over? This needs to be. And my response was, look, the ratings on Crayon Shin Chan basically sucked. Funimation gave it 3 seasons. The ratings weren't there, so they ended it. They're not even dubbing the rest of Shin Chan. It's just done. I mean, I sooner expect them to finish Kadocha before they pick up Shin Chan again. And then again, the English dub they took so many liberties with it. It's so different from the original Japanese. Which, given how Shin-Chan is, it's understandable.
It's strange as it is, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, what people aren't realizing, at least for the game being released, is the Switch is region-free.
Mm-hmm.
So, as long as you either know Japanese or, and I know this is going to happen, somebody's going to get the game and they're going to translate it. So, all you have to do is read the translations as you're playing, and there's no issues.
That's actually how I played Namco Cross Capcom for PlayStation 2 like 15 plus years ago. Somebody had rough translations and I'm following the damn FAQ. And now there is a translated image. So I'm like, good, I have a reason to fire up my PS2 one more time.
And what I was gonna say is, yeah, I think the biggest reason it didn't translate over here is the like cultural context.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to a lot of the jokes and a lot of the ways like the family interacts and their environment and all that other stuff, like sometimes shows that get into that niche, like where it's super funny in the context of the community and the country and the culture it's from, when they get translated, it kind of gets chopped up and censored and all this other stuff gets mixed around or mistranslated or misconstrued, and the context isn't there because the comparison of like, Japanese city life versus American city life, while they are similar in some aspects, are very, very different in societal like hierarchies and rules and stuff. So a lot of those word jokes and a lot of those plays are just lost when it's translated, which I'm really sad. I thought Crayon Shin Chan was really cute and funny. I mean, it was crude. Like, it's a little boy. Like, what do you expect? Like, he's going to pick his nose and poke buttholes and stuff like that. Just happens.
And do the elephant
But at the
dance.
same time, like, I understand why it didn't quite translate.
Yeah, I took a Japanese culture class when I was in college, and just me being me, some of the books that we got to actually read through and discuss that spoke about, the cultural aspect. Shin-chan is one of those characters that Japan uses in teaching guides. So to be reading a book about culture and Shin-chan being such a huge part of what we were reading and discussing and talking about, I was laughing my ass off. And it wasn't until, the end of class when my teacher pulled me aside and he's like, Shin-chan? And I said, yes. I said, I'm taking this class because, I'm into anime and I'm into the games and I'm into the Japanese culture. So he was actually really excited because, I knew what was going on in what we were actually discussing. And we actually had conversations about Shin-chan. He actually is from Japan, and his family knows, like, it's like his aunt on his father's side, like his aunt on his mother's side or something like that. But his family is involved in Shin-chan.
Nice.
So we actually got to have conversation about, things that were going on. And he was really excited just to have somebody in the States that knew what this thing was and could relate to this thing. So, I mean, it made that class a lot of fun, actually.
And basically, for those of you who still trying to figure out Shin-chan is basically the Japanese Bart Simpson. That's
yes.
plainest easiest way I can.
No, I would
yeah.
highly compare it to Simpsons, and that how
Yeah.
like The Simpsons is a very much a reflection on the American family. Like that's what it started up as, was like the ideal American family, or like a comical version of the of the ideal family or whatever, as the societal phenomenon it was. And The Simpsons are still used in certain contexts to demonstrate things like mostly predictive history, because that's a thing. But it is that same vein of Shin Chan and The Simpsons.
All right. And now we're down to our last article. Some cute and adorableness, something that's right up Ichigo's alley.
So yeah, if you like being a cat, Pusheen, I know I've been feeling that mood heavily the last few months. Sleep all day, stay up all night, do the zoomies, make a lot of noise for no damn reason, and then go to bed again. Hatsune Miku is releasing an adorable collaboration visual with Pusheen. Digital content distribution and merchandise rollout are planned for 2021. So Krypton Future Media announced a collaboration project between its internationally popular virtual singer Hatsune Miku and its popular American character Pusheen today on February 19th, so a few days ago, and released a collaboration illustration featuring the two characters for the first time. For those who are listening at our channel here on twitch.tv/animejamsession, it is basically an image visual of Hatsune Miku dressed up in a pink maid outfit with Pusheen on a platter, a silver platter in her hand, holding a donut, and in her other hand a platter with a lovely parfait-style ice cream on it. This is the second phase of Miku World Collab, a project to promote collaboration between Hatsune Miku and the popular overseas IP. The character has been featured in its first phase, revealed last month, to Tsukoboro Ugoku Usagi, or Overaction Rabbit, a line stamp character that has been popular in Japan and South Korea. Pusheen is a cat character created by Claire Belton and Andrew Duff in the US in 2010, and increased its name in recognition in 2013, when it began distributing stamps for use on Facebook. Pusheen's character book, released in the same year, has been published more than 12 languages and has gained worldwide popularity through a wide range of digital content and merchandise. The adorable Miku and Pusheen collaboration illustration is drawn by Japanese illustrator Choke, and another illustration by the Pusheen team will also be released at a later date. Digital content distribution and merchandise rollout will be planned for this year. The worldwide installment, it has a lot of images and different things like that. You can check out Krypton Media's website, or Hatsune Miku or Pusheen's Instagrams and other media and social media profiles for more information. It just looks really cute and adorable, and I like Sakura Miku, so the color scheme for this one is right up my alley.
And she looks so precious.
She looks so cute. And
Yeah, I
Pusheen's
can't wait
adorable.
until the Pusheen-centric pictures start coming out, because I am a fan of Pusheen, so I can't wait to see Pusheen actually dressed up as Miku, because you know that's going to happen.
That would be
I was
adorable.
gonna say, yeah, we're gonna see her.
Little
We're gonna see
kitty
Pusheen
wig.
dressed up as Miku. In that outfit too.
And now,
I would not be surprised if it's in the same outfit.
you know,
I mean, the whole thing is with Miku and everything that goes on, Miko is Miku, but Miku has friends. So the fact that Pusheen is Pusheen and Pusheen has friends, I am really hoping that, it's more of a full collaboration.
Let the massive crossover begin.
I know. I
Yeah.
was like, watch them become the the Pusheen characters as the Vocaloid characters dressed up as Sailor Moon characters. I expect fan art to come shortly.
And Pusheen's birthday was the 18th, so just to let you know.
okay. And now that we got that out the way, it's now time for the part of the show that you all really enjoy, meanwhile in Japan, or how badly can Mako-chan crack the skulls of the hosts of the show?
It's not that bad.
No, this one isn't that bad. So there's 3 stories, so I'm stepping out, so y'all can just decide what y'all want.
I'll take the second one, I guess.
Okay, then I guess that means I'm the first one. Okay, so a design company is actually going to be holding socially distanced night saunas. Will only be a maximum of 84 people, and it's only going to last for a weekend. So, design company Naked Ink will have their thing is they're going to have a small swanky sauna session with 3 friends in an isolated tent with a quote-unquote drive-through system intended to stop you from sharing space with any other campers. The event they propose has already been tried in Nagoya and Tokyo, and for this third venture, the team is intending to highlight the beauty of Tokyo Tower. So the event will be held over a single weekend starting on March 12th and ending March 14th. The participants are limited to an individual tent that seats 4 people at maximum, wherein they can then visit a partitioned sauna tent containing the titular steamy spa features. The event will make use of Russian-crafted Moors spa tents, which allow for adjustable temperatures and come equipped with a ceiling window to ensure anyone inside can still see the view of the night sky. The event is limited to a maximum of 7 groups only, making it an incredibly exclusive experience. To that end, tickets are sold by entering into a lottery, which obviously something like this, I'm not surprised. So those who win will end up paying about $188 to rent their tent during the event. This event will run from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And while it might seem a little pricey, it is a limited time event to quote unquote chill and therefore relax, as the tagline declares. We're sure there'll be plenty of people willing to cough up the cash. In case you are one of the lucky potential participants, you have to remember to bring a mask and remain with your party as per the rules to prevent COVID transmission. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see if this works. I know that there are a lot of restaurants now that are doing these kind of individual stylized tents where you can go in and have your meal, and then they go in behind you and completely disinfect the room. And, you know, then you don't have to worry about being indoors or anything about that. So I think the concept is really cool. These tents are really, really awesome. These are similar to some of the tents that they use in Iceland. So they do allow for the viewing window. And I know the ones in Iceland are used so that you can actually be able to relax and see the aurora. So I think this will be actually really cool. And hopefully something like this will expand. I mean, hopefully it won't be necessary anymore, but even after the fact, it would be nice to have something like this set up just for, you know, just for the feel and the uniqueness of the event.
If it works, it works. I think they can make it work though. Interesting idea.
Okay, the next one's mine then.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of a political party that refused to pay the NHK ordered to pay the NHK. One of the most well-known politicians in Japan is Takashi Tachibana, though it's admittedly pretty barren landscape these days. Tachibana burst onto the scene about a decade ago with an energetic campaign ahead of the refusal to pay NHK reception fee party, which soon after rebranded as the Protect the Nation from NHK Party, or Ankoku for short. As highly descriptive party name suggests, his main platform is to end the aggressive fee collecting ways of the NHK. While educating people on the best tactics to avoid signing subscriptions, Tachibana gradually amassed a large following and grew to a handful of local and national electoral votes and victories in recent years. However, his appointment to the National Diet's House of Counselors that landed him in his current predicament. While Diet member, he signed a subscription contract from his TV office that lasts from August through September 2019. He has since disputed the need to pay the 4,500 yen, which is about $43, not because he didn't know it, because he felt it should be offset by other legal costs from a separate dispute between him and the NHK. Judge Hiroshi Oshima of the Tokyo District Court disagreed and on the February 17th ordered that he pay the full amount to the NHK directly. And he said he would appeal. And now, after following the decision, Tachibana tweeted his intention to run for governor of Chiba Prefecture under a whole new party banner, which the translated tweet says, I'll create a party called the Party to Crush NHK and Judge Hiroshi Oshima. Wow. This guy's petty.
Very.
And some of the comments by other netizens were like, looks like the NHK crushed him. If he doesn't win his appeal, he'll have to probably change his name again. Wouldn't it just be easier to pay the 4,000 yen? It's stupid but entertaining. He's going to run for governor of Chiba over 4,000 yen? Like, hurry up and crush NHK already. I just picture like someone in the back, just barely audible screaming that once everyone else has just gone dead silent. But hey, he's sticking to his guns.
Yeah,
and people have run for political office for less.
Yeah, say what you believe in, Yeah, stand up for what you believe in.
And while like the netizen said it would be like easier to just pay the $4,000 than dealing with it.
Principles.
Yeah.
It's principles, and it's honestly the story behind the thing, the reasoning behind the thing, because we've talked about the NHK before and how predatory they are, like even sending like mob bosses and mafia people to people's houses to collect money to pay for viewing a TV channel that they may or may not have on their television. Like this political party is not just like a political party like where it's the different parties and they run against each other, blah blah blah. It's literally that he's trying to stand up against a big bully that has been basically the main party of a country for decades. So.
Anywho, our last story of the night, and I need to put my light back on. And what's interesting about this story, we actually covered this in Strange News from Japan 3 years ago. We covered the original story that launched the lawsuit in regards to us back in 2017, episode 334, if you want to look it up and take a listen.
Yeah, and I think it was either me or Mako that read the story leading up to this one, when it came to the way that these schools kind of enforce uniformity to, lessen distraction or whatever they want to call it, and use it for discipline and stuff within their own school situation. But this poor 21-year-old and what she had to go through, man. Brown-haired girl sues Japanese school for telling her to dye her hair black. Court makes decision. The 4-year lawsuit ended with a win for the former student, but not the one she was hoping for. Ostensibly, school dress codes are supposed to be about eliminating distractions, and so it's common for Japanese schools to prohibit students from dyeing their hair. However, problems can occur if the schools rigidly assume that no one dyeing their hair will always result in everyone having the same color. Though the vast majority of ethnically Japanese people who make up the vast majority of students at schools in Japan have naturally black hair, some Japanese people's hair instead is dark brown. Though this can lead to situations where a school tells a brown-haired student that they have to dye their hair black, often predictably by their not believing that the student's natural hair color is brown and that they're trying to get away with dyeing it. Because there's not a sun or anything that would change the pigment of your hair over time. And anyway, That was the case for a teen attending Kaifuken Prefectural High School in the town Habikino, Osaka Prefecture. The girl enrolled in 2015 and was repeatedly told that she had to dye her brown hair black. And the girl insisted that brown was her natural hair color, but the school says that 3 different teachers examined the roots of the girl's hair and found them to be black. Which is what they took as proof that she was dyeing her hair. At least they weren't checking the color of her bra like some schools have done.
And on a side note, one of my friends is a teacher in Japan. She has to do the hair check next week. Yeah.
Eventually, the girl, who is now 21 years old, claims she was told if you're not going to dye your hair black, i.e. back to black in the school's opinion, then there's no need for you to come to school.
That makes sense.
Feeling pressured and distressed, the girl did indeed stop attending classes, and the school then was petty as fuck and removed her name from class seating charts and student rosters. But instead of seeing the school's administrators on campus, the woman decided to see them in court. And in 2017 filed a lawsuit over the incident, asking for 2.2 million yen, or $21,250 in compensation. On Tuesday, an Osaka District Court handed down its ruling, finding neither side to be completely in the right. Presiding Judge Noriko Yokota recognized the validity of the school to set and enforce rules relating to coloring hair, saying such rules have been established as having a reasonable and legitimate educational purpose, and so maintaining student discipline is within the discretion of the school. Yokota also declared it cannot be said that the school was forcing the girl to dye her hair black, seemingly taking the school's word that the girl's roots were black and that the administrators were the only requiring her to return to her natural hair color. However, the school isn't getting off completely free. The court also ruled that the administrator's actions after the girl had stopped coming to class, such as removing her name from the roster and removing her desk from the classroom, were unacceptable. Wow, finally using your brain. And has ordered the Osaka Prefecture to pay the damages of 330,000 yen, or roughly $3,190 to the woman. The amount is far less than she had been seeking, and the lack of any legal condemnation for the school insisting that her hair should be black is likely to leave the plaintiff less than satisfied, and I agree. And her lawyer expressed disappointment that the court took at face value the teacher's assertion that the girl's roots and natural hair color were black. This was likely a critical point of contention, as certain educational organizations, such as the Tokyo Board of Education, now have policies against pressuring students and naturally non-black hair to dye it black. Meanwhile, Kaifuken says it has no plans to appeal the decision and attempts to avoid sanctions entirely, and the school admits that it could make greater efforts to earn the understanding of students and their guardians regarding school rules. We have not changed our standards of having students who dyed their hair to return it to black, but this case has been a learning experience, and we will be giving greater thought to how better guide our students. I would hope so.
Yeah. Now, I'll say this. I understand why Japan is doing this for uniformity, obedience, and all that and all that stuff. I get that. I mean, here in the States, there are various schools where you have to wear a uniform, but that's it. Over time, that uniform slightly adjusted to where you don't have to wear a full shirt and tie. You can wear a polo shirt and slacks. Your hair has to be a particular way, which is noted for most schools in general. But that's it. There's nothing else. I mean, the fact that in a Japanese school, you have to wear not just a uniform, the panties have to be a particular color or style, the bra, that's too much. That's an invasion of privacy.
Have fun trying to verify that information.
You can't justify that with me.
Uniform seppuku have been a traditional practice in Japanese culture for years, decades, whatever, at this point. The problem is that they have been such a homogenized culture for so long, and they have instilled racism. I know that we're very shiny, happy people dancing. We love Japanese culture and all this other stuff, but we can't be blind to the fact that they were a very homogenized and racist culture until they opened up to the actual rest of the world. And they still have problems with racism within their own country. There are people that have Eurocentric roots that have parents that are Japanese, or they're half Japanese, or they were born in Japan, and they're considered Japanese citizens. But people are so racist against them because they don't look Japanese. And that is still a constant problem today. Like, it drives me insane. Anyway.
I can't understand certain things. You have an anime, and in this, in the various anime that are out there, 90% of the time, everybody has a different hair color.
Yep.
Some of them not natural. But then it comes to real life, and people get pissed off when it's anything but black.
Yeah, shonen protagonist hair, that's all it needs to be said.
It's anime, because anime is like cartoon culture.
Yeah,
and
it's not real, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's not real, so it's okay. And even then, like, you know how they regulate cosplay, how much they regulate weird culture, and they subjugate it to be in safe areas like Harajuku or Shinjuku, or like there are spaces where you can exercise this, but only on certain days. Like back in the 90s, how Sunday was the day for these punk kids, these alternative kids to dress up. Now that's not how it is pretty much at all, because tourism has basically run those kids out of their safe spaces. So it's just like internalized racism and internalized homogenization that wants to kill out any idea of creativity or difference. And that is part of Japanese culture just as much as animation. So that's where I want to cut it off.
Yeah. And I think at that point, I think we're done, because we can go on a tangent about this and quote unquote be here all night, but I'm not trying to be here all night.
I will say this, though.
Yeah.
Given their culture and given how, I guess, negatively they look at people that don't match up to that, there is albinoism in people, and it doesn't, it's not just a specific race that has that. It makes me wonder if that is treated more negatively or if they revere them.
To me, I would see it as more negatively. Chronically ill, invisible disability is considered as a taboo. Like, you just don't talk about it. You hide those people away. Because I can especially attest to this. When we were traveling through Japan, access to elevators, access to stairs or escalators or anything like that was hard to nearly impossible. If I were by myself, it would have been literally impossible because of my body. I am chronically ill, and therefore it's a problem. And the fact that I've watched multiple vloggers and content creators that have disabilities or invisible illnesses that lived in Japan for a certain amount of time leave and go to their home countries because they legitimately don't have doctors that believe in chronic illnesses or treat them, especially for foreigners. So to me, it would be that they would disregard them and consider them basically invalids. Unless those people were, a part of a specific society, or if they were part of maybe an indigenous culture in Japan where they venerated certain genetic dispositions. But at the end of the day, the ideal, I guess, person in Japan is someone who is, smart and produces and says nothing against authority, and at the end of the day they go home and they continue that cycle. So it is a very people are disposable society, and it sucks. America's the same way, Europe's the same way, and it sucks. But yeah, that's kind of where I would end before I get sad.
No, it's all good. Don't even worry about it. It's all good. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up and get up on out of here. So if you like the show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent podcasters, independent bloggers. We do this for the fun of it. So, if If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find our weekly podcast, anime reviews, cosplayer interviews, cosplay tips and tricks, links to our Facebook page of convention coverage, links to our YouTube page of convention coverage, anime reviews, editorials, and then some. That's all at animejamsession.com. And if you like our podcast tonight, definitely check out our previous episodes, which is available on any platform that you use for finding podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, all of it. Just do a search for Anime Jam Session. You'll find over 480 episodes. Some good, some bad, in there. We've had fun times doing this, so you know. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you definitely want to see our convention coverage, definitely check out Facebook.com and Twitter and YouTube.com/Anime Jam Session, where you'll find cosplay photos, convention videos, masquerades, all that cool stuff. And Twitter when we're going live, articles that are going up, and other cool stuff. Let's see what else we have here. Don't forget to support our tip jar down below. Streamlabs. We have a link to our Streamlabs, our Ko-Fi, and other cool things. Drop us bits. We appreciate that. Any funds that come into the show go directly into keeping the hardware going for the show, for all of us here. So that's how we do. So now we're gonna go around the room for last words. Last words, Ari.
To circle back to what I was talking about earlier. Boom! Tetris for Rockefeller.
Hey. Last words, Mako-chan.
I need sleep.
We all do. Last words, Ichigo.
I'm gonna go peel off my face and then maybe jump into bed, or I'm gonna start sewing and drive myself to madness.
Well, if you start sewing, ping me. I might just keep you company while I'm playing Sakura Wars. My last words is, I think I'm gonna play some Sakura Wars. Well, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. More fun, more hijinks, and more calamity. So that's it. So, yeah. I'm Ranma.
I'm Ari.
I'm Mako-chan.
And I'm Ichigo Gami.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Bye.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We're out. See you next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on the show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it! For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com. and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!